Hello. So first video, bit nervous, but testing out the Osmo 3 today to vlog my sort of start of my Leica experience. So a little bit of context, I've been shooting on film at weddings for just over 2 years, absolutely love it, obsessed. Just feeling like I need a little bit more control when I'm shooting, which I'll talk a little bit more about, I'm sure, at some point, but yeah, toying with the idea of getting a Leica, but obviously it's a massive investment. So today we're heading up to Manchester. Leica for ages, and you'll have to excuse my family because today is actually the year anniversary of my hip. Already organised the year birthday party for my hip. So today we'll be celebrating my hip's birthday by potentially buying a new camera, or at least doing some extensive research into the camera, and then going out to tea together and just being like, yay, I can walk again, which is exciting. So yeah, I'm going to take you with me for the day and I'm really excited. Going to meet up with a guy called Paul who I met at a workshop earlier last year. And the whole thing is because he is an expert in Leica cameras, so he shoots both digital and analog Leica cameras for weddings, but also for fun as well. And because they are such a massive investment, I'm just really keen to sort of do my due diligence and just make sure that I've learned as much as I can. Normally I just complete YouTube, so if I'm thinking about doing something new or getting some new kit, like when I got this Osmo that I'm recording on, I just watched loads of videos and then I felt quite confident and then I got it. But the Osmo, I think I paid just over 600 quid for everything, including a memory card, whereas the Leica, it's such a big investment. Even though I do it professionally, it's a huge investment, big, massive. So I just want to make sure that I'm really thinking about it and not just doing it because it's an amazing brand. The main thing that draws me to it is the fact that they're still being built today. So that gives me reassurance when I'm making such a big purchase. But also the brand does have a massive allure to it. Everybody knows the brand, especially in the camera community. And it's known for excellence. That's the thing that keeps drawing me to it. And the kind of weddings that I'm doing now, my clients really care about the quality of the images, and I just love to have a little bit more control. So I've been shooting analog at weddings now for over 2 years, and I've shot hundreds and hundreds of rolls of film on a variety of cameras. I've tried manual, I've tried point and shoots. I tend to prefer point and shoots just for the ease, because when I am shooting manual I feel like it's really slow, and I always prioritise digital over film just for safety, because obviously the moments can't be repeated. Excuse my little boy who's humming to himself. But the way I shoot digitally is quite immersive. I like to shoot through things quite a lot and just frame the composition quite intricately, have quite a lot in there, quite a lot for the eyes to do around the frame. Whereas when you shoot with a point and shoot, it's got a wide sensor, so it just basically hits whatever's closest to the camera and then tends to focus on that. And I just feel like when I'm shooting film, as a result of that, I can't be very creative. So the whole point of trying to get something with a rangefinder or something where I can be a bit more control of the focus, but something that's really high quality, is just so I can get a bit more of that immersive vibe. Hey Frank.
It's hot. Can you see the steam coming out?
Grab him. Go.
35mm, and I've got the very beautiful 35 1.4 smart. It's my film camera.
Oh my god, you are the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen.
Let me see.
Well, I would, but I don't know how.
Yet.
That round plate is locked.
M6 is a great start because you've got a meter in them, so you've got a built-in meter, and it's a really simple meter on the saw. It's just an arrow either way. So if you look through that, you see at the bottom there is a little arrow.
Yeah.
So that's telling you, so back in the day, so if I did that, so it points you in the direction of what aperture you need.
Right, okay.
which way you need to turn your aperture.
So that's too low, it needs to go up?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So obviously now you're at f2, you might need a bit more shutter speed.
There's nothing there now.
So just press the shutter speed. So it's you're overexposed. So if I swing that now, should be another arrow coming in.
Right. Oh, and the box just appeared in the middle?
Yeah.
Right, okay. But the box wasn't there before?
Yeah.
So it only appears when it's the right shutter speed?
Depending on which M6 you go for, some will just have 2 arrows, some have a dot in the middle. So when the dot's in the middle, basically you're perfectly exposed.
Okay, so we've got MP, M6, the same, but that one, this one, is brass underneath. Is that literally the only difference?
The M7, this has later M6 TTL metering in, but over the others gives you an automatic mode. I'd probably say user point of view, I say the M6.
Not this one.
That's very nice. It carries over some of the original kind of quirks of like M3s, M2s, so slower loading, really lovely to use, I think better built. Yeah, that's sexy, that's the workhorse.
A bit like you. Which is the
This,
workhorse.
M7, the one no one wants. What are we talking about?
Which one to get for shooting
The
through
thing is, if
stuff?
you're buying something like an M, it's about you're in control, fully in control, you're in control of the aperture, the shutter speed, your ISO, you're in complete control. Why would you want to shoot auto?
Well, I don't know. I
Why
guess
would
we're
you
going to
want
see.
shoot auto?
I guess we're going to see.
Yeah. So I wouldn't, for me, if I walk into an environment, if I'm abroad or if I'm shooting at a venue, you can typically, obviously the more experience you've got, you can eyeball and know what shutter speed you want, what aperture you want on an analog camera. And if you do struggle, if you need to get a quick picture, you put a point sheet in your back pocket.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. This camera is not meant for like taking loads and loads of snaps and like being like fast and stuff with it. This is a slow down, breathe, take your time, get it right camera.
35mm Summicrons. That's a Mark 2 or 3. That's a Mark 4. So listen, if you've been reading around the forums and stuff, that's called the King of Bokeh.
Okay.
So that's like one of the most beautiful lenses they've ever made.
Okay.
It's a bit more expensive. But
Okay.
it is.
Which one's that?
Mark 4 35mm pretty spherical. So, and it's really compact as well. Yes, it's 35mm, really compact. Right, so on the front of the counter, top of the camera, that's your rewind.
Yeah.
That's your rewind clutch. This is your rewind on top. Okay, obviously no filming on top. Little picture on the bottom. The way I do it is. So basically, just put that through there. There's 2 little teeth. Pop it in. A bit more. Make sure the big key on this. See the little sprockets there.
Yeah.
Make sure it's on the sprockets. Close the door. Do 2. So you see it's on the sprockets now at the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that point, it's still okay to open it.
Yeah, because you're before the.
Okay.
What you
Yeah.
normally have before. Take up a bit of tension. Okay?
Yeah.
So you start feeling it. See it moving now.
Yeah.
And now you're at 0.
Okay. Perfect.
You alright?
Coming in post, this is being recorded after the day, but I just wanted to add in a little bit of context. Say hi, Nami. My beautiful cat, one of 2. Went to the Leica store, had the morning with Paul, learnt all about the differences in the camera and basically, or the camera systems that Leica offer. Came out of it thinking that the M6 would probably be the best fit. Main reason being, it's the only one of the Leica systems that is still in production. Everything that I'm saying, by the way, this is from what I understand, so if I say anything wrong, please do feel free to correct me in the comments. Aiming to be a Leica expert at all. It's just the whole reason of making this video is to be as informative as possible, and I was a total Leica noob. That's why I invested so much time in getting to know people that are out there using the systems and hopefully sharing to help your decision as to whether to go for one or not, like, easier. The M6 would be the best option for me because it's the only one that's still in production. So for a professional photographer, that warranty is going to give me a lot of peace of mind, but also, like, if anything goes wrong with it, it should be easy to get parts and all that jazz. I already knew going into this that I wanted to compare a manual system with my best point and shoot from my collection. What you're going to see now is me going around all around Manchester with Paul and then one of his friends joined us as well, and I'm just going into different areas and I was trying to get the settings right on the Leica practicing using the rangefinder. It was so helpful having someone there that used it already, because I could ask him, this is what I'm thinking, these are what the dots are saying, please remind me what these arrows mean going this way or that way. I did shoot a few wide frames just to get a few easy shots in the bag. I took one of like my husband and my little boy for moving images, as obviously at weddings we've got people moving. When we're doing candids and stuff, we can't just be like, oh can you stay there for 10 minutes while I get my settings right on this camera. So I was really pushing both camera systems to the max and really seeing like how both would cope in situations that I might find myself in at weddings. Look out for where you can see that I'm trying to shoot through things. The whole point of this, as mentioned earlier in the video, is trying to be more immersive. I do shoot, when I shoot digital, through things a lot, so I really wanted to play with different focal lengths and see how both camera systems would cope with that. So watch out for those examples as well, and yeah, see if you can figure out which one came from which camera and what your favourite is, and whether you think the Leica is worth that massive price point. Which means I'm underexposed.
Yeah, you're underexposed.
So I need to go more. That's perfect.
Pointing which way? Right over, left under.
Okay. I wonder if I can...
What, a sexy fish?
Yeah. Yes, sun coming through with this dreamy light as I edit this video, loving that. Be interested to see if you can figure out which one is which. I think it's pretty obvious which is the Leica. Some takeaways from me: I did feel like I had a lot more control, which is what I wanted. And I do feel like even by the end of the first session, I got a lot quicker at figuring out what my shutter speed needed to be, what my exposure needed to be, and that's something that I guess with practice would get faster and faster. I do worry about the pace at weddings, whether or not shooting a fully manual camera is feasible. For some bits of the day, yeah, like cocktail hour, I feel like it could be a vibe. There are little bits of natural time throughout the day where you are actively looking for things, you're talking to the guests, constantly looking around to see what's going on. So I do feel like there are natural moments, but being totally honest, I do worry about missing moments, and I do wonder if it would still be a good idea to almost go in with a hybrid and still use things like point and shoots for the dance floor and for really fast moments like cake cutting, confetti, all that stuff, just to make sure that you're not missing moments. When I was chatting to the boys at the store, they suggested having like backup settings in your head, and another thing that I saw online was that if you shoot in a higher f-stop, naturally more is in focus. So there are hacks and ways of getting around it. This is definitely something that I'm going to explore more this like springtime. But yeah, what do you think? Could you spot the difference straight away? What do you think about the colours? Like the Leica colours are so famous. Which one do you think was the Leica versus the Olympus? Do you think it is worth it? Do you think that if you've enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing if it's something that I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this year. I am an educator. I come from a background in education, and I also run Fave Education. YouTube is going to be my space where I share all of the stuff that I'm learning. So we never stop learning, and I really want this to be a space where a lot of free, valuable resources. I am completely self-taught. I basically taught myself everything that I know in photography initially through YouTube. Going to be lots of videos coming up over the next few months, lots of vlogs of styled shoots, workshops, editing videos, basically anything that I can think of that I think might be helpful to you in whatever stage you're in your photography journey. I'm going to be sharing, so please do consider sticking around. Any questions, pop them in the comments and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for being here.